All right, here we go with homework 1-8. Getting close to the end of this chapter. Got a test coming up soon. All of these deal with mean. So remember, mean is just average, what you think of as average. When you've averaged your grades in the past, really what you were doing is you're finding the mean of those grades. So in this first problem, it says a car salesperson has 7 used cars for sale. That would be the sample size here, the 7. And they have a mean price of $4,000. What is the total price of all 7 cars? So in other words, when it says they have a mean price of $4,000, what he's done, he's added up what all 7 of these cars sold for, divided by 7, and came out with 4,000. So if we want to know the total price, all we've got to do is undo that. Remember, he took, to get that 4,000, what he did was he took the total price and divided it by 7. Okay, so we're going to undo it. To get the total, we're just going to take that 4,000 and multiply it times 7. And that'll give us $28,000. That's what the total price would have been of all 7 of those cars. All right, now this next problem, I have students kind of asking me this kind of question all the time because they want to know, well, if I made a so-and-so on a certain grade or a certain test, what would that do to my average? All right, so this is a problem that can help you figure out that if that's ever a question for you. So it says Jessica has scored these points in her first 5 basketball games. How many points does she need to score in her next game to average 20? Okay, so she's gotten 22, she's gotten 17, she's got another 17, she did 18, she did 23. And then in this next game, we want to know, what does she got to shoot, or how many points does she need to make in order to average 20? Okay, so to average 20, we're going to add all these up and divide by the total number. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 games. So this is what we would do to set it up algebraically, and then it's just a matter of solving that equation, really. So I'm going to add all these numbers together. Should have got a calculator, but I don't. Let's see. 22 and 18 is 40. 17 and 17 is 34. And then I got a 23. So that's just going to give me, is that right? 97. Okay, so this is just all of these added together, just 97. 97 plus this x here, divided by 6. All right, so I'm going to multiply by 6 on both sides to get rid of that. So then I'd have 97 plus x equals 120. Subtract that 97 from both sides, and it would tell me what she needs to score in that last game, that 6th game, in order to be averaging 20 a game. All right. Let that one sink in a while if you need to before you head on to the next one. But the next one going to be pretty easy, I believe. It's just got some data here, and you're just in a symmetric data. In other words, it's balanced. You got the same amount on each side. There's a middle to it somewhere. There's a perfect middle to it somewhere. And it should be pretty easy to find since it is symmetric. And the mean, in this case, is going to be the middle number, okay? Since it's symmetric, it'll be right in the middle. The mean will be right in the middle. So if I look at this data right here, this is the middle of this data, all right? And that number below here is 3, okay? So that means the mean here is going to be 3. All right, let's go look at this other data. Where do you think the middle is? Well, the middle is right here, right balanced right there, okay? So that line, there's not a number under there. So if I erase this now, there's not a number under there. But where that line is 5.5, right between 5 and 6. So the mean here is 5.5. Boom. You're done. All right. Last one. A lot of reading here, so take your time. In this case, it says a job placement agency advertised that the last year its clients, on average, had a starting salary of, this was their starting salary on average. Assuming that average refers to mean, which of the following claims must be true based on this information? Okay, so the average, the middle number, when you add them all up and you divide by the total, is 38,500. So let's read some of these statements to see if they must be true. It said last year at least one of the clients had a starting salary of $41,000. All right, so this is saying last year at least one of the clients had a starting salary of less than $41,000. So in order to have an average, think about that, in order to have an average of 38.5, does somebody have to have a starting salary less than 41,000? Well, yeah, you got to have some numbers that are on either side of 38.5, okay? So you definitely got to have something less than $41,000. So I'm going to check, that's got to be true. I got to have somebody making less than $41,000 if this is the average. So this year at least one of their clients will have a starting salary of at least 35. Okay, so careful here. This is what we're reading up here. It says had a starting salary last year. Okay, so everything we're reading up here is dealing with last year. So we can't make a claim about this year. So this can't be true because it's talking about this year and not last year. All right, so that's just something to look for in all of these. If they're talking about a different year, you're not able to make a claim based on that. All right, let's go to the next one. It says last year, some of their clients had a starting salary of exactly 38.5. Okay, so the average is 38.5, but that doesn't mean that somebody had to have exactly that. I mean, so think about that. Always think about this as far as grades are concerned. So you could have a 94 average and have never made a 94 on a test or a quiz, okay? It's the same situation here. We can have an average of 38.5 without somebody having exactly making that much money. All right, let's keep going. Last year, some of their clients had a starting salary of at least 38.5. So last year, some of their clients had a starting salary of at least 38.5. So that means they at least would mean they were making 38.5 or more. All right, so in order to get an average, again, think about it as grades. What if I said you want to have a 90 average in this class? Are you going to at least have to make a 90 or better on some of your tests or quizzes? Yeah, so you're going to have to. So this has to happen. Some of the clients had to have, they didn't have to have exactly 38.5, but they had to have at least that or more in order for this average or this mean to happen. All right, let's see what else we got here. it says last year the number of their clients who had a starting salary less than 38.5 was equal to the number of their clients who had a starting salary more than 38.5. So they're saying you got an equal number of clients that had less than 38.5 and some greater than 38.5. The same number greater than 38.5. Since 38.5 is the average. This does not have to be true, okay? Because, I mean, you know what one bad grade could do to your average. It could really bring it down. So could one really bad, not bad, but somebody with a really low salary or somebody with a really high salary can really impact that middle number. So this does not have to be true. And so it looks like we got two possible answers here. I mean, two things that have to be true. That had to be true and that had to be true. Okay, so take your time, play with these. This will hopefully start making more sense as you do a few of those. But there you go. That's homework 1-8. And we just got one more homework to do before test time. So make sure some of this stuff's sinking in. And good luck, and see you in homework 1-9.